What is up, Insaners, and welcome to another video of the Fantasy Premier League 2022-23 season. In this one, guys, we're gonna talk about chip strategy, where we'll cover each chip, the best possible scenarios to use those chips from now till the end of the season. So if you like the video today, guys, make sure to hit the like button. Also subscribe to the Insanely Football YouTube channel for more such videos. And with that, let's start today's video. Now we'll go chip by chip, guys, and we'll start by explaining the free hit chip and the best possible scenarios to use the free hit chip. So basically, the free hit chip is a chip where you get unlimited transfers for one round. So you can make unlimited moves, you can get in a fresh playing 11 along with a fresh bench for just 1 week. So that means that your team will reset after the current game week. So let's say, for example, you use your free hit chip in game week 22. So you will have a fresh team, a new team for game week 22 for the double in game week 22. And then your team will reset as it was in game week 21 for the game week 23 double. So it's essentially getting a fresh team for 1 week, guys, and then moving on to your older team. Now let's move on to when you can use the free hit chip, guys. There are 3 possible scenarios in my mind, and basically 2 major conditions where you can use the free hit chip. One is basically a blank game week, the other is a double game week, guys. Both have their advantages as well as disadvantages, guys. Now coming to the blank game weeks first, there's possibly the biggest blank game week in game week 28 because of the FA Cup games, guys, and a lot of the big teams might not feature in the Premier League that week. So you can easily field a playing 11 with the free hit chip, guys. Depending on whichever fixtures are going through, guys, you can select a particular team for that week and then move on to your regular team from next week onward. So that is definitely one option. The other option is basically navigating a tricky blank game week in game week 32, guys. That also could be a blank game week. It may or may not be as big as game week 28, but then again, it might be a bit tricky to navigate that week, and you can easily go through that with the free hit chip, guys. Again, like blank game week 28, guys, you can just get a team for 1 week. Depending on the fixtures, you can select those players and then move on to your regular team. So these are 2 blank game week options. The other option is to basically attack a double game week, guys, where a lot of teams have 2 fixtures, and that could be an advantage as well. So the idea here is to basically go through your regular transfers, make regular moves till blank game week 28, and then free hit for the double game week 29, guys, and possibly leave the wildcard for a later stage, maybe 33, and then bench boost in 34. That is the possible strategy in this point, guys, in the double game week 29. The idea here is to get maximum double game week players. You can also have a bench full of double game week players for that particular week. Depending on the fixtures, we can select the best possible options. But the only downside to this particular move is that there could be a possibility that there are certain teams having a single game week fixture, having a strong single game week fixture, and we may ignore them, and that could be a bit of a disadvantage, guys. They might do well. They may end up eliminating the advantage that we may get from a free hit chip. That is always a possibility, but then that's the only downside with playing this free hit chip in double game week 29, guys. But these are some possible options, guys. If you ask me, my strategy, I think playing it in double game week 29 makes a lot more sense. And then you can possibly use the wildcard in game week 33 and with a bench boost in 34. We'll talk about the wildcard and bench boost in just a bit, but that looks like my optimal strategy. Let's move on to the best wildcard scenarios now. Now, before we get into the best wildcard scenarios, wildcard is basically a chip that allows you to make unlimited changes for 1 week, guys. So you can change your entire team and you won't be taking any hits for that. So that really saves you from taking multiple hits, as I just said, and that sets up your team for the next 6 to 8 game weeks as well, guys. Now this duration might be different for different people, but I think if you're wildcarding, slightly medium to long term thinking is required because this chip is possibly the strongest chip in the FPL game, guys. Now the difference between a wildcard and a free hit chip is that free hit is only for 1 week, so you make the changes, you get in a team that's only valid for 1 week. But in the case of a wildcard, guys, that chip basically stays, so the team basically stays. So whatever team, let's say for example, you use the wildcard chip in game week 22 and that team is not going to go to your earlier team, guys, that team will remain the same in game week 23, 24 and the weeks beyond. So that's the biggest difference between a wildcard and a free hit chip. And let's move on to the best wildcard usage scenarios. Now coming to when you can use the wildcard, guys. Now, of course, you're not going to use a wildcard in a blank game week, so that scenario kind of goes out of the window. The other options are basically playing it in a double game week when you have a double game week, which are 2 options here. So we have a double game week in game week 29, and you can prepare your team for slightly long term, guys. You may or may not use the bench boost just after that, again, depending on the fixtures, depending on which players you go for. So that's very team dependent, but using it in double game week 29 is definitely an option, guys. You can load your team with the best double game week options and you can prepare for slightly longer term. The other option is basically ending the season very strongly, guys. You can instead go for the double game week 34 chip. Now in this scenario, you can't use the bench boost in 34. Now 34 is a double game week. The idea should be to use a bench boost chip in a double game week. That's the best scenario there. But then again, you can use it in game week 37, which also could be a double game week. Again, it's not immediately after the double game week, which is again a preferred scenario in FPL, but that's okay guys. You possibly will be ending the season very strongly with the wildcard chip and the bench boost chip, where a lot of people or maybe majority managers might have already used these chips. That's the advantage. Now the disadvantage is basically that you might be leaving it till very late guys, and the advantage of the gains that you can get from the chip may be a bit limited here. The alternate scenario to the double game week usage of the wildcard chip guys is basically using it in game week 33. So you're using it a week earlier before the double game week. So you basically use it in game week 33 and then you prepare your team, prepare your bench boost chip for game week 34 guys, which is a big double game week. So the advantage here is twofold. You prepare your team slightly long term from 33 till 38 and you get in the best players for 33, you get in the best bench boost options for 34 and then use the bench boost chip in game week 34. All scenarios are pretty solid guys, and it totally depends on what your chip strategy and your other chip strategy is. I think for my team, I'm thinking at a game week 33 wildcard and then possibly bench boosting in game week 34. Now let's move on to the bench boost chip guys. Basically what bench boost means is that all your players on the bench will score points for that one particular week. So let's say if you activate the chip in game week 22, whatever your bench is, including the goalkeeper and the 3 other options on your bench, all of them will be scoring points for that particular week. Now this is only used for 1 week, so this is basically only valid for 1 week. You can only play this chip once and only on one particular week will your bench score any points. Of course, this is in addition to the points that your playing 11 scores, and that will be added to your overall score. Now what are the best possible scenarios for using the bench boost chip? I think you can easily use it in a double game week. The first double game week, a strong double game week, is game week 29. You can fill in your team with double game week options and you can use the bench boost chip, so that is definitely one option. The other option is basically using it in game week 34, which is also a double game week. The third option is basically using it in game week 37, so you can wildcard in 34 and you can bench boost in 37. The second option was basically using the wildcard in game week 33 and then using the bench boost chip in game week 34. In case of the first option guys, you can either use it along the wildcard or you can just use it in isolation. Let's say if you have a strong bench, in game week 29 with a lot of double game week options, you can easily use the bench boost chip. Otherwise, you can use the wildcard in game week 29. And then from game week 30 to 33, maybe you can use the bench boost at that point of time. So these are all possible options. As I said earlier, I am possibly thinking of using the bench boost chip in game week 34 when I use my wildcard in game week 33. So guys, do let me know what you are planning in terms of your wildcard, free hit and bench boost chip. And now let's move on to the final chip, which is the triple captain chip in FPL. So I don't think so there's a lot to explain here. Now when you're using your triple captain chip, so when your chip is active, now instead of your captain giving you 2x points, double the points, basically the captain will be giving you 3x points. So the points will be tripled instead of doubled. That's the triple captain chip. So let's say if you are triple captaining Haaland this week, and he's getting 10 points, so ultimately your points total will be 20 with him as captain. When you use a triple captain chip, the overall total of Haaland will be 30. So that's the difference. There'll be a 10-point advantage here, and that is the advantage that you get from a triple captain. Now what are the best possible scenarios for using the triple captain chip guys? I think you look at a good double game week. Let's say for example in game week 22, the likes of Rashford and Fernandes, they have a strong double game week from Man United. I think they're definitely potential options. Now in case if you don't trust the United attack that much, you can also go for Haaland in game week 23. He is also doubling in game week 23. I think that's also a strong option. Haaland, as we all know, is the highest scoring option in FPL this season. He's been scoring goals for fun. It could be a tricky double game week because it also has Arsenal in it. So that is something to kind of note. But I think Haaland, if you want to go safe, he's definitely a great option. Otherwise, if you're okay punting a little bit, if you're okay taking a bit of a risk, then I really like Rashford, who's in great form for Man United in double game week 22. Now guys, the idea is to use the chip in game week 22 or 23 because of the fact that you may end up using your wildcard, free hit or a bench boost in game weeks like 28, 29, 33, 34 or even 37. Now these could be good options for your triple captain chip as well, and in case if you've already used your wildcard, if you've already used your free hit chip, maybe your bench boost, you can look at these double game week options. But if you have all of these chips available guys, I think game week 22 and 23 represent the best value. At least there's known information from these weeks guys, and a lot of unknowns could exist at a later point of time, and the options that we're talking about right now may or may not exist at that point of time. So That is my overall take on triple captaincy, guys. Again, if you feel that you have a strong option who has good fixtures for a particular week, you can definitely take a punt on triple captaincy. So guys, these are my thoughts on the overall chip strategy, on the usage of different chips for the FPL 2022-23 season, guys. Do let me know what you think about these. Do let me know your own chip strategy plans in the comments below. I hope you found this video helpful and useful, guys. Do make a note of it. Do save it for a later time. I'm sure it's going to be very helpful and useful. If you liked it, guys, make sure to hit the like button. Also subscribe to the Insanely Football YouTube channel for more such informational FPL videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.